أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Here at the Webb Foundation,
it's about breaking barriers.
Breaking barriers.
Where proper knowledge unlocks.
Where proper knowledge unlocks.
It's about our potential.
It's about spiritual development.
We worship through service.
This is the new horizon.
The new horizon.
we started 10 years ago with a pioneering event. We brought together about 100 to 150 people to share the vision, share the mission of the work that we will be doing, and to invite people to join us. Until then, for 6 months, 7 of us had been meeting, had been talking about what our needs were, what our community's needs were, and what we felt was the needs of American Muslims in America.
The end goal of the Webb Foundation was to make it seamless, meaning the type of person that I am outside was something that I could also bring comfortably into the 4 walls of the Webb Foundation. The message of Islam that I would get would be one that would be completely in line with and not giving me a feeling of any sort of contradiction around that.
Here at the Webb Foundation, we really focus on breaking barriers without stepping outside the boundaries of Islam.
An organization of Muslim families that have developed a community, and in that community we've developed different activities, education and programs that facilitate a greater community, if you will.
When I think about the Webb Foundation, I think about forward thinking, an organization that is thinking about the needs of the community even as they unfold and before they unfold, and searching for ways to meet them.
You know, we need to be careful about our priorities, and we need to be careful about the fact that we need to translate Islam into a new environment. We have to take the American space seriously.
Webb is one of the few organizations, off the top of my head, it's the only organization that is doing what it's doing, and that is focused on developing an Islam that is wholly loyal to the tradition and it's wholly American. And there's no other organization in Chicago that is consciously, aggressively, actively trying to do that right now.
So here is the challenge in our community, in our Muslim community, that we're trying to take on. How do we think outside of the box? How do we create new ideas? And how do we allow ourselves to express ourselves as Muslims in this society while at the same time holding to sound Islamic tradition?
I am American, and our kids are culturally American. And if we want to be able to sustain a vibrant American Muslim community, a believing American Muslim community, they have to feel comfortable with where they are. Webb is at the vanguard of that movement.
We need to actively create a community that understands that diversity and that can take all of the positive that it has to offer and create a space where everyone has a role to play in that community.
The Webb Foundation is the only community that I know of that have been successful in making people feel American Muslims or Muslim Americans.
We understand at Webb Foundation is that there are differences of opinions, and that's okay. We still have a common ground that we can connect on, and one of those being that we're all American.
This has been a key success mark of what makes Webb Foundation do their job really well done, because I haven't seen too many mainstream Muslim organizations that have convert Muslims to the ratio that we have and make them feel very authentic and very welcome and very accepted for who they are.
There's no organization that really identifies itself by its cultural diversity in Islam, except Webb, in my experience. And what that lends to the practice of the faith is a level of tolerance and excitement that I haven't felt personally in any other institution.
I
think the community is looking for more than just practicing Islam in a four-wall environment.
All these events are meant to support family outing. So you identify, you bring all these great factors together. That's how you create a successful new generation.
We really welcome the idea of people coming and experiencing whatever is going on in that event and feeling comfortable and feeling good about the message that's being sent to the students or the adults or whoever else is in the audience.
We try to have 4 or 5 signature events that repeat throughout the year regardless of what our calendar looks like. And one of those signature events is the Grand Motive.
I love that the families are there and everybody's there together, and we also attract people from outside the Webb community for that.
For the past few years, I've gone to the Welcome Back Hajis event. And I think it's a good way for families to get together and not only celebrate someone's religious experience of a pilgrimage, but also to have multiple generations in the same room experiencing that same thing.
So what we do is we do the Hajj event in a way where we can recognize them in a very, I think, familiar way that any American would expect to be recognized, with plaques, with some speeches, with some food. So it's in that spirit.
The first, hopefully annual Webb football game was great. I personally love football, and it was, I haven't played in years, and it was absolutely fantastic.
My personal favorite event is the father-daughter camping trip. I mean, I've probably gone since my middle daughter was 6 years old, and it is literally like the event of the year for us.
Everything we don't do it just because it's a great idea, but how can we link it back to what Islamic societies for centuries have done?
Webb has been a phenomenal supporter of the turkey drive. They've been behind us, full go from day one we approached Webb. And that support has been invaluable. It's brought goodwill all around. For the families that get these turkeys, for a lot of them, if they don't receive it, the way we give it, they won't be able to afford one.
The way we look at education is that it's a lifelong process. We started at pre-K and we go all the way through to the adult education. At different phases of your life, you have a need for different types of knowledge. So there is always a need for education, and it has to be relevant to the phase that you're at in your life.
The charm and attraction of the Webb Sunday School program is that we try to encompass every different ethnic group, whether immigrant or indigenous.
One thing I loved at Webb Sunday School was that we learned that being a Muslim isn't just about, a formula. It's not just about you do the prayers, you fast, you read Quran. It's so much deeper than that.
As they get older and in their teen years, we try to get them involved with service projects so they can put their faith and what they've learned into action into the community.
Ideally, it wouldn't be a Sunday school. It would be an opportunity for students to engage in thinking about their faith and then applying their faith in practice.
The face of the Muslim community is changing, and the dynamics between those cultural elements are changing, and I feel like the Webb does a good job. Like if my kid were to go to the Sunday school there, they're not going to feel out of place there, whereas in other organizations, the face has yet to shift to really truly represent what the Muslim community looks like now.
To see them learn, to learn with them and to teach them is phenomenal. I can't imagine not being involved in it.
They can come in and they can be themselves. We value that student, we value that person for who they are. We don't try to make them into something else. We use them and their life experiences as the learning tools for them to just grow and grow and grow as human beings.
The members that are active in the Webb Foundation are highly intelligent individuals. They have just such a significant love for knowledge and education and community, and they have, I've never met a group of people with a stronger value system.
We want everybody to fit into this model. They're open for any new members to join in, bring their own ideas, and contribute. And it really has been a wonderful model.
All of our different cultures to it. And it's wonderful to find an organization that really appreciates that diversity and celebrates all the different cultural approaches to our faith.
In terms of its immediate future, a fundamental problem is that we are over capacity in terms of the spaces that we're using. And this is very costly, but this is not physically allowing us to grow.
One of the things we don't have is a piece of property, a freestanding building that we can really call a home. And so I think that is the next, that's where we need to get to.
This is a very critical juncture in the history of the Webb Foundation to expand that environment.
It's wonderful to see the kids getting together once a week. It would be even better to see them getting together 3 and 4 times a week. For 10 years have built the institution. Now we're ready to institutionalize all of its components. They have their home, they have their mosque, their religious space, and then they have Webb as their third space.
I think the Webb Foundation saved my life as an American Muslim. I think what it was able to do is, again, allow me to be me and not have to choose between the identities that I bring to an experience, not have to decide whether today I'm going to be an Indian or a Muslim or an American or a mother, that I could be all of them and more. And I see that in many of my friends and community members that have also been part of the Webb Foundation.
We try to offer families a way to experience Islam just a part of their everyday life. Builds that family unit, but also helps strengthen their faith at the same time.
We are at the stage right now in the American Muslim community. We need to build this foundation of a true American Muslim identity, brick by brick. We want a successful Muslim community in this country, in America, as citizens. The work starts now at places like Webb.